Guys, do me a favor. Please hit that like button. So, as I guarantee you, Gary Cobb was in this report at one time. There's a service called Bledsoe. And we've been talking about some of the players, good and bad. And Bledsoe, it's Bears, Lions, Eagles, and Steelers that use this service. And we laid the players out. Okay? Thursday coming up, we're going to find out where they're going to go. Without further ado, we'll be covering that for Fox 29 in Philadelphia. Our very good friend, JAKIB, joins us now to give us his insight here. JAKIB, here we are, man.
Hey, the time is now. Yeah, we're going to, this thing's going to get interesting because, the Eagles, they do things during the day of the draft. They're going to, they could move up. They could, depends on what they're thinking. I'm not sure. They have really kind of shown that Dallas Goedert, there's something's going to happen at the tight end position, but that's probably going to be maybe in second round, third round. I don't think they're going to do that in the first round. See, with the whole tight end thing, but I think Dallas is probably going to get traded.
I think so. You think he's going to get traded on draft day?
It looks like it because. It could happen because he is a commodity that somebody might figure, hey, that's going to put us over the top, or that's going to help us, and we got a young quarterback or something. So I could see him getting traded because they've let him know that that he's not necessarily going to be back with in an Eagles uniform this year. See,
I want to put this out here too. You tell me what you think it is. So today, Cam Jurgens gets a 4-year contract extension. I want to read you these numbers here. Cam Jurgens, center, $17 million per. Jordan Mailata, $22 million per. Lane Johnson, $25 million per. Landon Dickerson, $21 million per. Dallas Goedert, $14.2 million per as of now. AJ Brown, $32 million per. Jalen Hurts, $51 million per. Devontae Smith, $25 million per. Saquon Barkley, $20.6 million per year.
That is a lot of money, boy.
That comes out with 9 guys of your 53 active Sunday players to $228.8 million in salaries alone. What's the one thing you don't notice with all that money of almost $230 million, that one defensive football player's name there? I mean, Garry, you got to admit, it's a one-sided salary cap in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And is that by design, or is that just the way that the cycle's going now? Or do you see that trend continuing, that they're going to continue paying only on that one side of the ball? I mean, I know they gave the quarterback or the linebacker 17, and they're going to pay what's his name. But boy, I'll tell you, man, that's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, and they're going to pay. They're going to pay Carter too. Well, I think it's just worked out that way right now. But I think that they're going to get to where you're going to see guys making money on that defensive side too. But the way things have worked out right now, because you've got the defense is younger. They got a young group. And the veterans, you just saw, you saw Slay leave out of here. And then of course, you saw Milton Williams and Josh Sweat, guys that if they would have stayed around here, they would be making some money. So I just think it was the kind of thing where it just happened to work out that way. But I think they're willing to pay defensive players, but they also are in a situation where the timing of things has a lot to do with it. Like right now, defensively, they want to fill some holes with some young players, because you can't pay everybody. I mean, you can't get everybody $20 million. So I think the defense right now is young. Of course, it's going to get older, and then they're going to have to make some changes, and then eventually there'll be guys on the offense, more guys on the offense who are young and everything. So I just think that's the way it works out. I think they're willing to pay defensive players, but it's just a matter of timing right now, But we'll see. You know, if they hit it right, you know, they're going to keep these young guys. Well, you see, like Jalen Carter, he's not going anywhere. He's going to make whatever,
Yeah.
30, 40 million a year.
But here, Gary, here's the difference now. And I was bringing this up with Xander. Here's the difference where you're picking at 32, and maybe even if you wanted to trade out into the second round, into the top of the second round, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Cleveland. Here, get this. Here's the ideal. Now, the number one pick by Tennessee is going to make a commanding $43 million fully guaranteed. The second pick is going to make $41 million guaranteed. The Eagles at 32, that money drops significantly down to 11.86. So you got a little movement down there.
Wow.
And the first player in the second round, he's going to make $10.85 million on his contract. And you don't have to worry about the fifth year if you're the first player in the second. You know, do you see the Eagles? Again, if you had to pick between Malachi Starks or Walter Nolan, a D tackle, or let's just say this, safety or DT, whatever that name looks like, who do you think that they would be more likely to draft? A DT or this Malachi Starks, who's, in my opinion, I think he's a great-looking prospect.
He definitely does. He does look good. And, you know, turnovers, you know how important turnovers are. The only thing is the way they got their board set, the way they got their whole thinking is the line, a great line can make up for a mediocre secondary. See, you know, so I think that they're under their formula, the defensive line is more important because the defensive line can cover up some issues in the secondary. But, you know, some great players in the secondary can't cover up a defensive line that can't get there. And eventually, you know, you're going to get beat if you're not winning the battle up front. That's the way they believe. That's the way that they have built the team. So I think if they have the situation where they have a choice, the priority is the defensive line.
So for you think the tougher replace of C.J. Gardner versus Milton Williams, it's Milton Williams. It's a tougher replace because do you feel they can get away with it? Like you said, if you think about 22, in 2022, the difference between this is why this secondary this past year was better. You had 70 sacks and the volume of pressure. You got away with not having an elite edge. You didn't really have an elite player at that position.
That's true.
But you were able to stop the run. So to Vic, in his thinking process, it's more to where, hey, get this, man. We don't have to be exceptional at the defensive end position or the edge position because we weren't all year long.
That's right.
It's more about replacing Milton and making sure that run defense is intact.
Yeah, well, you know, I feel pretty good about some of the young guys they have there. So, you know, what you're saying with Vic, now that would be very interesting to sit in that meeting when he's in there with Howie talking about, you know, what he would rather have, because you're right in that he is able to, you know, have that defensive secondary plan, and, you know, you're not, you know, you didn't get to the quarterback. You're not blitzing them. You know, you got that confidence in your secondary. And, you know, it's rare in the NFL to have teams playing like that because most of them get to the quarterback. So I wonder how they're talking about it, because really, you know, their priority had been, you know, and I think about what they drafted this past year. They got two DBs, first round and second round, and they end up helping them win a Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
You know, so, you know, maybe they prioritize Starks. Maybe that's what they do. You know,
I mean,
that's going to be very interesting, man. I wonder.
Because Starks can play in the slot. There's even Bledsoe says he can play in the corner.
Yeah.
He can play in the safety. So look at the secondary. You'd have Quinion. Now, I was going to save this topic, but hang on here now. If you draft Malachi Starks, why not drop him in the safety and move Cooper DeJean out to the corner?
Yeah, you know, that's a very interesting thing to do.
Because didn't they draft Cooper DeJean to be a guy to play the numbers?
That's what they did. Yeah, they really drafted him. Yeah, to be out there, to be outside, really. You know, and they say that's what he wants to do. He wants to play outside. He would like, that's why he came into the league.
Wait, Garry.
He was looking forward to that. Of course, that's right. More money. Yeah, you're right. You're right, boy. But I tell you what, boy, that is so interesting as the thinking of Vic Fangio and Howie Roseman in that. I wonder if he's telling them, hey, look, don't break your neck getting us a pass rusher, even though they prioritize it, or at least they have been prioritizing it. But it'd be interesting if they continue that. But that's a great point, man. You bring Starks in here in this secondary, and you got one of the best secondaries in the NFL, which allows you to do a lot of things because you got guys that are playing safety that can play corner. That gives you a lot of flexibility, boy. Things you can do in the coverages and everything. And that's
and he desires flexibility.
Yeah.
He likes guys who can play in multiple positions, multiple techniques. Guys, D lineman, one of the things Milton gave you could play a 9, 7, 5, 3, 2, 0. He likes all that. And on the other hand, too, that's one of the things that he loved about Zach Bond and why it was so easy for him to move him in. Why not sit here and do this?
Yeah.
Hey, Howie, I'll tell you what, we may have our corner in the building here to take Slay's spot. If you don't see a guy in the draft, why not put Cooper DeJean? I mean, Garry, if not now, when?
You're right. If anything, you go from corner to slot or nickel. You go from the corner, outside corner, you go in there. So I mean, he's good. He's good enough coverage guy. We've seen him run with some outstanding wide receivers, so the kid can run, and it gives you some flexibility, boy, where really you can get defensive, get the offensive, get the quarterbacks wondering what in the world are you doing with the way you're lining people up, because you got that flexibility where a guy can play inside or outside.
How about this one here? Couple last ones here for you. Okay, I got to go with AJ Owens here. Excuse me, AJ Brown here for a minute here.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is going on? Somebody stole his car?
Somebody stole his rolls. Now, my question would be, hey, dude, if you're going to park it on the street in South Philly, Hoss, man, I'm not thinking that's going to be a place you put a rolls.
Wow. I just saw, a blurb of that. I'm wondering. So they stole his rolls. Oh, man.
Right out of his driveway.
Woo!
You really leave the keys in it?
Well, the guys stealing rolls, they're probably the experts, man. They're probably good, man.
Hey, I'll tell you that, hey, Cobb, they're not stealing an F-150.
I mean,
these guys know how to get in there and get out of there. Because he even
I saw a blurb with him saying something, but I'm going by that, whatever. He's just talking. I didn't realize he was talking about they stole his rolls.
Stole his rolls.
Because I saw him said, bring it back or something like that, whatever.
Yeah. Hey, G-Cobb, that's what I mentioned. Hey, I'm going to put it out there to Philly. I was like, dude, one dickhead stole it. Philly didn't take it anyway. He goes, hey, I'm going to tell you, if you bring it back, no harm foul. Yeah, okay. I'm sure that's going to go over well there.
They stole his rolls.
Stole his rolls. All right, I do have a question on him, though. What year? 2025, 2026, 2027. When of those 3 years do you see A.J. Brown traded? Or never?
Well, I could see where they might do it down the road, but it would be
I just threw
maybe
those
the last year. He'd be here a couple more years, maybe.
I just threw those numbers at you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's the next dude in line to be knocked off the team because of that $32 million? Remember something. He ain't a homegrown guy.
Yeah, I know. But, well, the way these salaries are going, 34 ain't going to be 34, much
No,
longer.
that's right.
You looked at the 34, now 34 is 24.
Hey,
So,
Garry, my uncle, I posted, I had a $40,000 incentive for working out for 3 months. I put that up there.
mhm.
I remember when I signed, and I know you signed a couple of years before I did, so the numbers are even worse for
Yeah.
you guys. And so my uncle goes, I made $18,000 in a 17-year Hall of Fame career. You made $400,000 signing bonus. I think that's kind of what we sound like a little bit here. So I always got to make sure I put that in proper perspective. But I used to always tell Robustelli, I go, yeah, but dog, you played back in the day when you rolled up your helmet and you put it in your back pocket. So he was like, so now I sound like that guy that I rolled my helmet up and I put it in my back pocket. So hopefully we can say goodbye to G Cobb here, man. Hopefully, if not, we're all good. Think maybe that he ran out of steam with the cell phone there, but hey, man, there's a lot of decisions to be made here. A lot of decisions. Get this. Look at this guy. Who cares what he said? I'm not getting mad at anybody, son. Jay speaking out with someone stealing his car. Come on, man. Nobody's talking about that. Let's bring G Cobb in here, man, to say goodbye to the guy. All right.
Yeah.
Garry, so Thursday, tackle safety offense.
Tackle safety offense. You mean what are they going to do? I think they're going to go with defensive tackle. I could see Nolan or somebody like that being the guy. I think they're going to go with that defensive line. I think that they look at the formula. I think that maybe the second round they go tight end, but I'd have to lean there now. I don't say that as confident as I would because really, Malachi Starks, another Georgia guy, man. They're in love with those Georgia guys, man.
They are. Georgia's like the old USC Miami stuff back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the way teams are. They fall in love with schools. You're right.
Hey, Garry, do you think
yeah.
that if they draft a D tackle at 32, that's the end of Jordan Davis?
Yeah, I think that I do think. I think that would be say that, you know what, we're going to move on. Yeah. I could say that, because that's admitting that, hey, we've gone Georgia. I mean, we can't be right with all of them. And, so
here's something you could think of doing now. You could sign that 5th-year option, which means you would get them for 2 years. Last year coming up in a 5th-year option, it kind of hoses the player, obviously.
Yeah.
But you would get them, and get this, Garry. Jordan Davis at $12 million, $11 million. I know it's a little high for a guy who plays 2 downs, but he did help the defense become the number 1 defense. And the less he plays, that means they're in 3rd down more because they're taking care of the run.
Yeah, that's true.
That doesn't sound psycho to me, to pay the guy $11 million to ensure I have a good run defense.
Well, I don't know how those numbers look to them, but now that could be something where it's low enough to where they're able to do that type of thing. Because he does. I mean, he's a monster against the run. Now you got to double team him, and you could double team him, but that doesn't mean you're moving him out of there. See, so he is good in that area, but the league is different. The NFL it's a passing league now. It's all about that passing game, and you got to be able to get to the quarterback, and that's why he's looking over his shoulder because they're probably going to draft. Or they could very easily draft another defensive tackle. And you think about how many. I mean, how long they haven't been here that long? You got him, and you got Carter, all these defensive tackles, and they could go get another one. But that shows, their priority there, and they know that if you're getting pressure up that middle, it makes it tough on a quarterback, boy.
How about this too? If they do draft that D tackle or an edge,
Uh-huh.
in the first round. Listen to this. In your front 7,
Mm-hmm.
Nolan, Smith 1, Carter 1, Davis 1, and this new guy would be 1.
Mm-hmm.
You would have 4 first-round picks in your front 7. Man, that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a tremendous investment. That's a tremendous investment, boy. I tell you, that is. But that's that's the way. Hey, that's the way they think. Because they know if you are winning that battle up there, if you got the quarterback who's not comfortable, then it makes everybody else's job easy, man, or easier. So they got the ring last year, and you saw. Come on, look at that Super Bowl.
Oh, I got it. They didn't blitz.
And they didn't blitz. So they got. I tell you, I say, yeah. It'll be a defensive tackle or edge rusher. I think that's where they're going. They're gonna go that way. Because man, if they look at the Super Bowl, they go, look at this. We do this again, we'll be back here again.
Absolutely, Gary. I appreciate it. I can't wait till Thursday, man. This is going to be fun. I'll tell you this. I don't know if the draft is good, but I think the drama is going to be great.
Wait, say that again? The drama?
I don't think the draft is great, but I think the drama will be great.
Well, the Eagles. The Eagles drafting that first round because Howie likes to move up. So he could bring some drama to that first round. You're right.
Absolutely. Gary, we will catch you next week. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Have a good one.
You got it. JAKIB, don't forget, Fox 29. Make sure you check him out. Yeah, there's A.J. Owens. He's back. Holy cow. He kicked my rolls. I get it, man. It's a shitty thing. Somebody took his rolls. But what an arrogant dude to think that somebody's going to roll it back. You know what they're going to do? They're going to leave it parked on a road near a Wawa. That's what they're going to do. And this guy's throwing out proclamations. What'd you do? Leave your keys in the car? Give me a break. By the way, I'm going to reset my mock draft. Anybody you guys want me to look up with the Bledsoe report that the Eagles use, dude got a roll stolen and Sills is bashing the pay. Oh, this guy makes it sound like I'm CNN. That's not the case. That's not the case. Bashing him? I'm not bashing. He's crying. He's blaming all of Philly. Come on, Philly. Come on, Philly. All of Philly stole your rolls? Come on, dog. Come on now. All of Philly? How about, hey, weirdo out there in Philly? Not, hey, message to Philly. Anybody? Now, maybe what he's doing is he's talking to his boys to tell the guy to bring it back. Okay? Hey, this just in. You ever watch that movie Chop? Hey, you know what you're going to see soon? You're going to see A.J. Brown's Rolls Royce, that little emblem that you have on the hood. That thing's going to be on like an Acura somewhere. Ain't that A.J.'s Rolls? Ain't that thing that's on the Rolls Royce, that little emblem on the Rolls? Holy shit, that thing's going to be on a souped-up Acura. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, AJ, I'm sorry, man, but it's gone. So if you guys have anybody you want me to look up, give me the school and the position. I'll give you what the Eagles looking at and looking at him. Not bashing. I'm not bashing. I'm just pointing out here. Hey, Philly, somebody took my roll. Dude, listen how that sounds. Hey, Philly, somebody took my rolls. And I had 2 Rolexes in it. Yeah, I'm not really caring that much. Yeah. You know, man, my car's broken down and leaks oil. This guy's talking to me about it, having his Rolls Royce stolen. I don't know. I mean, am I really? Hey, looky, I'm on the lookout for AJ's rolls. What do you think we live in? Stark, Mississippi? Come on now. A defensive end from that Jackson kid from Arkansas. We'll do that. Scatterboo? All right. We'll do all this. Keep you guys. Wait, I'm going to take a timeout and we'll reset here. I want to do my mock draft. AJ Brown rumors. I'll tell you what. You know what the NFL stands for John McMullen? The No Fun League. the trade rumors of A.J. Brown. Bro, he's getting traded. It's just a matter of when. He's not going to have a Supreme Court appointment. And don't forget something on the money that would hit the cap. The Eagles could defer 2.5 years of that cap money. Anybody today, if you know the CBA, you can defer that money. It's not a 1-year cap hit. Anybody knows that that's ever read it. Okay? I mean, I want to mention to the NFL Alumni Association, thank you very much for the opportunity. I got to, real quick, I got to throw some love out to the Alumni Association. Big Sills is going to be working with the youth football guys. And I want to thank everybody there at the NFL Alumni Association. I'm going to be in, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to be in San Francisco. I'm going to be in Ontario outside of Los Angeles. And I'm going to be in Oceanside for 3-day camps this June and July. I'm looking forward to that. Be working and I'll be making an appearance at those places. So, yeah. Yes, it's appearance. Yes, it's an appearance. And yes, Big Sil's going to show his face somewhere. All right. Big Sil's leaving his house. There's scratch there. What are you talking? There's big money. I'll put the places again. Like the 23rd through the 25th in July. And yeah. So I'll be doing that with the NFL and I'll be doing it with the youth camp guys. They asked me to do it today. So we'll throw those dates out to you guys. Real cool. All right. Don't forget, guys, our great friends with Morgan & Morgan. #1 injury law firm in America with over $30 billion recovered for clients across the country. Look what they're doing out in L.A. with all those fires where people lost their homes. Getting recovery for people who lost their homes. You know, insurance companies came in and canceled the folks. Morgan & Morgan right now is cleaning up for their clients, making sure that they pay restitution on what those folks did to the people who own them homes. Well, right here in Pennsylvania, family got nearly $30 million in recovery. Insurance company came in with a claim of $650,000. Morgan & Morgan got $30 million in recovery. Family down in Florida, I tell you all the time, $350K. There was an appraisement on a settlement. No way. John got $12 million with his team of thousands to go in and make sure that that family got right and was treated right by that insurance company. So if you're ever injured, please do me a favor, guys. Log on to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. Please tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric.